Hi, my name is Aditya Zoom, and I'm a dietetic intern at the USC Workwell Center. This is going to be a session to learn more about the connection between food and mood and how to eat a diet that supports mental health. To start off, I wanted to ask you to take a moment and think about how you might be feeling today. Maybe you feel bored, excited, stressed, tired, content, relaxed, hungry. There's no wrong answer. The next question is, when was the last time you ate and what did you eat? Perhaps it was just recently, or maybe it's been several hours and you're starting to feel hungry again. So now that we've taken a moment to reflect on our mood and our food choices today, I'd like to introduce what we'll be covering today. To start off, we'll walk through the connection between mental health and diet, looking at how food affects mood. I'll then share some different food groups that support mental health and different foods within each category. Then we'll go through some tips on how to implement a diet supporting mood. We'll do an activity to practice putting together a meal while being mindful of mood boosting foods. And lastly, I'll share some recipes that you can try that have ingredients that support mental health. And today's learning objectives are to identify foods that can support mental health, to name at least one tip on how to add foods into your diet that support mental health, and to understand how to build a meal that supports mental health. So to start off, you can test your knowledge on food and mood by answering these true or false questions. The first is true or false. Eating vegetables can help to improve overall mood. This is true. We'll go over in a little bit why eating fruits and vegetables can help to improve mood. The next one is true or false. Sugar does not impact mood. The answer is false. There are actually a couple of ways that sugar can impact our mood, and we'll go over that in a little bit as well. The last one is true or false. B vitamins play a role in mood. The answer is true, and we'll take a look specifically at which B vitamins play the most significant role in mood soon. So first, let's take a look at some different ways that mental health is impacted by the diet. Different nutrient deficiencies are associated with symptoms of anxiety and depression. Some common deficiencies related to these are omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin B12, folate, magnesium, and certain amino acids. We'll look at examples of these foods in a little bit. Omega-3 fatty acids support mental health through their anti-inflammatory properties. Additionally, a portion of our brains is actually made up of omega-3 fatty acids. Vitamin B12 and folate both support the nervous system, promoting optimal brain function. Magnesium is associated and involved in the brain's stress response, and we actually tend to lose more magnesium from our bodies during times of stress. And then lastly, certain amino acids are required for the brain to make neurotransmitters, like serotonin, and these help control our mood. So we get amino acids from foods with protein like chicken, turkey, and eggs. The gut-brain axis can also help explain the connection between food and mood. Our brain and gut can actually communicate with each other. The gut is home to millions of bacteria that we call the microbiota. When we eat foods like fruits and veggies that are filled with fiber, we support good bacteria to grow in our gut and keep us healthy. But if we eat a lot of not so great foods for the gut, like fried food, it can promote bad bacteria growth in our gut. There's a lot of bad bacteria in the gut. This can lead to a poor mood and higher rates of anxiety and depression. We'll go through later different foods to eat to support a healthy gut. Blood glucose spikes and crashes can also impact our mood. If we eat a meal of only simple carbs, like a muffin and orange juice for breakfast, for example, it can cause a blood glucose spike, followed by a crash. This can leave us feeling tired and hungry pretty quickly after we eat. Inflammation also plays a role in our mood. A major source of inflammation from our diet is ultra-processed foods. Examples of these foods are chips, sodas, processed meats like sausage, and mass-produced baked goods. These foods tend to be high in saturated fat and added sugars, and low in vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Pro-inflammatory foods impact the brain too. Usually in cases of depression, there is some inflammation found in the brain. Eating patterns can also affect our mood. An irregular eating pattern, like skipping a meal, can worsen our mood and cause us to have lower energy throughout the day. It also often results in making unhealthy food choices and turn to unhealthy snacks. So now that we've gone over some different ways in which food can affect our mood, let's take a moment to reflect, thinking about what is one way in which food impacts mood that may have been surprising to you. And you can comment on this video to share your thoughts. Now we'll go over different foods that support a good mood. As I explained a little earlier, a deficiency in omega-3 fatty acids is linked to depression. The best source of omega-3 fatty acids is from fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies, herring, and trout. This form of omega-3 fatty acid is the most utilized by the body. However, plant-based omega-3 fatty acid sources are also beneficial, and these sources include flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and hemp seeds. Prebiotics are one food category that supports gut health. And as mentioned before, due to the brain-gut axis, this is beneficial for mental health too. And prebiotics are not digested and are able to reach the gut to support growth of the good bacteria. And some sources of these prebiotics are garlic, onions, asparagus, bananas, whole grains, apples, oats, cabbage, chickpeas, seaweed, and jicama. Probiotics are actually good bacteria that you can introduce into your gut through some of these foods. And the sources include fermented food like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, kombucha, and pickled veggies. And these are 3 different vitamins that also support mental health: folate, vitamin B12, and vitamin D. Some sources of folate include leafy greens, legumes, whole grains, and avocado. Vitamin B12 sources include poultry and meat, seafood, dairy, and nutritional yeast. Vitamin D is another vitamin where there have been links shown between vitamin D deficiency and depression. Some sources of vitamin D include fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and tuna. Other than through the diet, getting daily sunlight can also increase vitamin D levels. Many people are vitamin D deficient today, so if you suspect you have a deficiency due to not spending a lot of time in the sun and not eating fish, you can ask your primary care physician to test you for a vitamin D deficiency. And then some sources of magnesium are nuts and seeds, leafy greens, whole grains, legumes, avocado, yogurt, and tofu. Lastly, these are just some examples of how to maintain stable blood sugar levels. Choosing whole grains with fiber to slow down the sugar spike can help. Limiting the amount of added sugars in your diet is also very helpful. When planning a meal, adding a protein and a healthy fat to a carb is important for staying full longer and slowing down the glucose spike and crash. Additionally, eating every 3 to 4 hours can prevent feeling hangry and getting brain fog and help to stay energized. So this section will give you some tips on how to incorporate these foods into your diet. The first tip is when planning a meal to use the MyPlate template to make sure you're building a balanced and satisfying meal. The MyPlate template is easy to access at myplate.gov. As you can see, the different food categories on this plate are vegetables, fruits, grain, protein, and dairy. And you can see that vegetables are the largest section, and that together with fruit, veggies and fruit take up half the plate. And then here are just some additional general tips. Adding flax seeds to salads and soups can help increase omega-3 levels in your diet. Adding chia seeds to yogurt, overnight oats, or peanut butter toast can also increase omega-3 levels in your diet. If you enjoy eating fish, eating fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week is a great way to get even more omega-3 in your diet. Additionally, adding dark leafy greens to salads and sandwiches can boost several vitamins and minerals that support mental health. Trying to add an additional serving of whole grains to your diet can also help get more mood boosting nutrients in. Eating a balanced meal or snack every 3 to 4 hours can help stabilize blood sugar levels. And lastly, adding yogurt or kefir to your breakfast or snack can help to support gut health. And since we went over the MyPlate template, here's an activity to build a dinner to support mental health using the MyPlate template. Step 1 is to pick the protein. The options are hot dog, salmon, or turkey sausage. Pick the one you think supports mental health the most. The correct answer is salmon, and this is because salmon is an excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin D. Step 2 is to pick the vegetables. Since this is dinner, you would most likely not eat fruits, so we will double up on the veggies. The options are a kale salad, grilled asparagus, or steamed broccoli. And again, pick the one you think supports mental health the most. All three are great options that are filled with vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Step 3 is to pick the grain. The options are a spaghetti, a dinner roll, or brown rice. Pick the one you think supports mental health the most. The correct answer is brown rice, and brown rice is a great source of a whole grain. Lastly, step 4 is to pick the dairy. The options are a yogurt-based salad dressing, sour cream-based salad dressing, or shredded cheese. And again, just pick the one you think supports mental health the most. The answer is yogurt-based salad dressing, and this is because yogurt is filled with vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. And it's also great for the gut. Dinner is complete. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video and we'll get back to you with an answer. Now we will look at some examples of recipes with mood-boosting foods. For fish eaters, this is a recipe for baked salmon with lemon, garlic, and dill. As mentioned before, salmon is a great source of omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin D. For our meat option, this is a veggie-filled turkey lasagna. This is a tasty dish filled with many vitamins and minerals and prebiotics that support mental health. For a veggie option and for people with gluten intolerance, this is a gluten-free veggie chow fun. This recipe uses egg for protein, but to make it vegan, simply swap for tofu. And then this mango lassi is a great snack option that incorporates yogurt for a delicious serving of probiotics. Oh, and one last one. This is a side dish recipe for roasted veggies. This dish is filled with vitamins, minerals, and prebiotics to support a good mood. And all these recipes are either currently or will be soon available on the USC Workwell YouTube channel. So now let's do a quick recap of the true-false questions I asked you in the beginning to see if you were able to learn more about these topics in today's presentation. True or false? Eating vegetables and fruits can help to improve overall mood. This is true, and we now know that fruits and vegetables are filled with vitamins, minerals, fiber, and prebiotics to support mental health. True or false? Sugar does not impact mood. We now know this is false. If we eat too much added sugar in one serving, it can lead to a sugar spike and crash, leaving us feeling tired and hungry pretty quickly. If we skip meals throughout the day, we can also find ourselves in a sugar crash and are more likely to make unhealthy food choices. Last one is true or false, B vitamins play a role in mood. And we now know this is true. Vitamin B12 and folate are associated with better mood. So to wrap up, here's a summary of what we learned today. Food plays a major role in mood. Getting adequate amounts of omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin B12, folate, amino acids, and vitamin D is important for mental health. Eating foods containing prebiotics and probiotics can support a healthy gut, which can further help our mental health. And maintaining stable blood glucose levels prevents mood and energy crashes. And lastly, the MyPlate template can be a helpful guide to planning a balanced meal to support mood. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed learning about the relationship between food and mood. Thank you for your time.